As for teachers themselves, and the general view that many of them hold that they should be beyond any type of criticism, and that we shouldn't be able to talk about them, there is a story developing that I shared with you about 6 weeks ago. A bunch of lefties in Milwaukee are there's a major campaign underway for them to try to shut down conservative talk radio in Milwaukee, and they formed an alliance. It's a bunch of unions and local progressives, a bunch of people who basically can't get their way, and they're starting a talk radio campaign. And one of the things that they're going to try to do is see if they can't get a lefty on the air. And the other thing that they're trying to do is pressure sponsors to stop advertising on WTMJ and WISN. They sent out an email to all members of the teachers union over the last 24 hours, and this one focuses on me and goes back and quotes a number of comments that I've made over the last several years. I want to comment about that story next. News Talk 1130 WISN, Mark Belling, late afternoon show. The state teachers union, which at least what exists of it anymore, given the fact that its own members are dropping out in droves, deciding that it isn't worth paying dues so that the lefty loudmouths who sit around in the union office and try to get Democrats elected to office can have salaries for doing nothing. Another great long sentence. Allow them, wait until they get that one out there, is part of this campaign to try to shut down conservative talk radio in Milwaukee because they're frustrated that the other point of view in our state has been told, and it has been told with remarkable effectiveness, and it has been told to people who have chosen in this state to disempower the liberals and the Democrats that over the years gave the teachers union much of what it has wanted. I should note that it's not like talk radio, however, is able to keep the teachers from getting all of what they want. I, for example, have crusaded that it's long past time that we start requiring teachers to pay a significant amount of money for their health insurance, that we change the policies to make them high deductible plans, and we kick the retirees off the plan to bring teachers who think somehow that they should be immune from living in the real world an introduction into the real world so that we can save some money. Well, I haven't won on that. I haven't gotten my way. So for the teachers who seem to be under the impression that all talk radio has to do is take a position and they get screwed, they're living in a fantasy world. Nonetheless, what they do in this email that they sent out to every single teacher in southeastern Wisconsin is they pull together a number of the quotes that I've made over the years, and I'll admit they've got a lot of the good ones here. You know, the average school teacher walks around thinking that they're somehow God's gift to the earth, and they get called on for the pieces of crap that a good number of them are. That was November 14th of 2011. Then it said, listen to the thing here. It's edited, but it is me. Then, American public education is tanking in the world. A fortune in our education budgets are being spent on the ridiculous benefits we give to school teachers. That was February 25th of last year. Then I would throw out the entire American public school system. I wonder when teachers went from being normal to lefties. It probably happened in the 1970s when we allowed the schools to be unionized. That was October 20th of 2011. Then they got another one from me from 2013. I'd love to see us get to the day in which teaching was treated like a true profession, and every year you take the worst 5% of the teachers and fire them. Well, they point out that this is a terrible, terrible thing that I'm allowed to say these awful things, and this is what the public is hearing from, and they are trying to mobilize teachers to contact advertisers and others to stop advertising on programs that put out such hateful rhetoric. I'll say this about that. Every one of the quotes that I see in here, I have said. And I do believe that at least 5% of all teachers should be fired every year, because that's what most decent businesses do. They get rid of the worst employees they have in an attempt to constantly upgrade the quality of their employees. The fact that they see this as outrageous is revealing. They don't like the fact that I referred to some teachers as pieces of crap. Well, there are pieces of crap in every walk of life that exists in this world. And boy, if the headlines in the news over the last couple of weeks are indicative of anything, it certainly would appear as though a lot of them are teachers. My overall point, though, is this. Yes, I use strong rhetoric in criticizing the teachers' union. I usually try to bend over backwards, not that it does much good, to make it clear that I am not referencing all teachers. I am referencing the teachers' union, and I am generalizing in a way that I believe is accurate. The teachers' union, on the other hand, has issued on its own rhetoric far more harsh than anything I've ever said. The names that they've thrown at Scott Walker, certain Republicans in the legislature, conservatives, we're called racists, we're accused of not caring about children. The things that they hurl at us because we disagree with them, the childishness that they demonstrate when they go to Madison, the unprofessionalism that many of them showed in the classroom during Act 10, the work slowdowns where they refused to sign letters of recommendation for kids applying to college because they didn't yet have a contract. In other words, they can dish all of this out, but when anyone dare criticize them, they cry and wail like babies. They're bullies. And when I say they, I'm referring to their union. And evidently a lot of teachers must think they're bullies, given the fact that they're losing their ability to represent teachers in school districts across the state of Wisconsin as teachers opt out and either don't pay dues or to certify the union. This is all their own doing. It wasn't me that told them to create their own insurance company, WEAC Trust, and then rip off the taxpayers of Wisconsin by overcharging on premiums for years. It wasn't me that made them do that. It wasn't me that made them deal with Act 10 like children rather than adults who are simply not getting their way. The criticism that they have gotten has never been more harsh than the stuff that they have hurled out themselves. Like every other bully, they can give it, but they can't take it. Out of time for today's program. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.